Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Immigration USA. In this video, we're going to talk about the best US states for undocumented immigrants, states that offer driver license for undocumented, health insurance, and free in-state tuitions. Stay tuned. Okay guys, in this video we're going to talk about the best US states for undocumented immigrants. As you all know, some states, they don't tolerate undocumented immigrants. I would say immigrants, period. Florida is one of them. Recently, as you all know, I made a video for it. It's a state that does not welcome immigrants, either legal or undocumented. It doesn't really matter your status. And now we're going to talk about the best state for undocumented immigrants, or best states for immigrants, period. California is one of them, number one. New York, Illinois, and some other states that I'm going to show you where you can go ahead and obtain a driver license if you don't have a legal status in the US. And as you can see, this is the map that'll show you the states that are offering driver license if you don't have any legal status in the United States. But you know that you need a driver license to get to one place to another. You need a driver license. For example, you have children and you have a family in the US, and supposedly one of your children gets sick and you need to go to the hospital or anything like that. You need a car and you need a driver license in order to drive a car. So, you know, you have to look out for yourself right now. If you don't have a legal status, you have to move to those states where they offer driver license, health insurance for children, and for senior citizens, senior undocumented citizens, and also they offer free in-state tuitions for children that graduate from a US high school and they don't have any legal status. They can pay in-state tuition like citizens in that state. So to obtain driver license, guys, states that are offering driver license. But there is one thing I'm going to tell you right now. The real ID is being issued by states, multiple states, and the real ID is that you have to travel within the US air. Like if you take an airplane, you want to leave from New York to California, you're going to need the real ID. But this is not in effect yet. States are making it right now. So if you want to apply for real ID, you have to have a legal status, and you can travel from any state to another, within the United States, taking an airplane, and also to enter government buildings as well. But it is not totally in effect yet. It's going to be in effect on May 7, 2025. But right now, that's what it is, okay? But for just a driver license to obtain it, you got to go through to those states. Those states will offer driver license if you don't have any legal status. So this is the map. This map will show you where you can obtain a driver license, state-friendly immigrant. And also, I'm gonna show you on this list. It shows the states and the bell, and also year enacted. And summary, they'll tell you what do you need to apply for the driver license, and also effective date. But some of the states, to begin with, some of the states have started doing this for a very long time. And like California is #1 state for undocumented immigrants. When you go there, you can get a driver license. You can get some sort of health insurance. It might not be Medicaid, but like in-state local organization that offer health insurance for undocumented immigrants. And also they have health insurance for children, minor undocumented children. And they offer in-state tuition. If you go to any state university in California, you're gonna pay in-state tuition. So California started issuing driver license for undocumented immigrants since 2015. It's been enacted in 2015, and they voted it year enacted 2013 and effective year 2015. And this law requires the Department of Motor Vehicle to issue driver license to individuals who are ineligible for Social Security number if she required documents provided. So you're gonna have to submit your consular document, like if you have your embassy, your consulate in New York, for example, or if you're in California, you got to go to your consulate to get a consular document card, whatever they call it. Or you can submit your passport, you know, to show that to show your identity, and also some sort of proof of residency. So if you have that, you can apply for a driver license. In the state of Colorado, they've been offering driver license since 2014, and also same requirement. So driver identification card, which is your consular card, like where you from consulate to obtain a consular card. Or you can also bring your passport or anything like that, and also show proof of residency. But in this state of Colorado, they require to provide state tax returns. So I don't know how is that possible. If you don't have Social Security, how are you going to file taxes? I heard about the special number that IRS give for people that don't have any Social Security, but I don't have knowledge about that, so I'll come back to it. But I'm sure that they are asking for a tax return, state tax return, in order to be able to obtain a driver license, and this is the state of Colorado. And Connecticut, they've been offering driver license in 2015, and also it's been enacted in 2013. So in Connecticut, you can obtain a driver license, you know, and also you can submit foreign passport, consular identification, and proof of residency of the state, regardless of your presence in the United States. An applicant must file to legalize as soon as he or she is eligible. So this is a big question mark here. I don't really understand it, but it's saying that if you file an application for legal status, you can apply for a driver license. And the second one is Delaware. Delaware has been enacted since 2015, and it's been in effect since December 27, 2015. In that state, you can obtain a driver license, and also you can also get a state ID and provide a state satisfactory documentation evidence, and that is the application has filed in Delaware tax income return. So you must file taxes first in order to be eligible to apply for a driver license. But for Delaware, here it says that the card is not considered as a valid form of identification due to applicants' inability to prove legal presence in the United States, right? But anyway, you know, it's a driving privilege. So you get a car, you get a driver license to drive in state, but the driver license is not enough to prove your identity. So I don't know, this is kind of like controversial a little bit, but anyway, it's one of the states where you can go and obtain and drive if you don't have a legal status in the USA. So I'm gonna go to Hawaii. Is one of them. It's been effective since January 1st, 2016. And also same procedure as the other states, you know, proof of identity, but they didn't say what they need to show proof of tax return or anything like that. And now Illinois has been enacted since 2013 for a very long time. This allows the Secretary of State to issue temporary visitor's driver license to an individual who has resided in Illinois for a specific time but is ineligible to obtain Social Security card and unable to prove a lawful presence in the United States. So a valid, unexpired foreign passport, consular identification documents for their country of citizenship are acceptable for this form. So you can submit those forms in order to get a driver license in Illinois. And now let's go to Maryland. Maryland has been in effect since 2014. And if I'm reading here right, they're not asking for any, they ask for tax returns, so and also consular identification card and passports. You can submit that. And also this individual who has filed Maryland tax return here, file tax return in order to get that. And now that's it for Maryland. And then let's go to Massachusetts. Massachusetts is been effective. It's going to be effective in July 1st, 2023. Next month, you're going to be able to obtain a driver license in the state of Massachusetts. And it's been enacted in 2022, and it's going to be in effect in July 1st, 2023. So this law authorizes the issuance of driver license to applicants even if they cannot provide a proof of lawful presence in the United States, or if they are ineligible for Social Security. So in those states, you can obtain a driver license. They didn't say if you need the state income tax or anything like that. They didn't specify. But Massachusetts, effective July 1st, 2023, you can apply for a driver license. And Minnesota is one of the states that recently enacted a driver license for undocumented. It's been enacted in 2023, but it's going to be in effect on October 1st, 2023, this year. So from that, you can apply for a driver license, and the applicant must submit proof of identification as usual, such as passport, consular identification, and also proof of residency in the States. And the license must be marked not for federal purpose, So it's not going to be a real ID. It's going to be said not for federal purpose. But again, it's just a state driver license. You can drive in that state if you don't have a legal status in the USA. And then they have New Jersey. It's been in effect since June 1st, 2020. Same deal, same requirement. You must be a resident of that state and also show some identification form to identify yourself. And New Mexico has been in effect since 2003. 2003, New Mexico, they've been offering driver license to undocumented immigrants. And now New York has been enacted in 2019. And now, effective date, June 17, 2019. So the law authorized Department of Motor Vehicle to issue standard driver license and restrict what information can be retained and given out those who apply and holding licenses. Right? I don't know if that's clear, but in New York State, you can get a driver license. And the state of Nevada, they're offering driver license, and it's been in effect since 2014. Right? And same deal, you have to provide some identification forms, such as consular identification card or passport or birth certificate of your country. And also you must, and also that state, they don't submit your informations to the immigration, for example, federal authorities, which is immigration. They don't submit your data, they just keep it secret in that state, which is really, really good. And that's the state of Nevada. And Oregon has been in effect since August 9, 2019. So, they're offering driver license as well. And they accept identification forms such as birth certificate, consular identification card, and passport. And it says identification card is not a real ID. We all know that. Or a commercial driver license. To obtain a commercial driver license, you must have a legal status in the US. And also the real ID stamp on the driver license, you must have a legal status, either you're a citizen or permanent residence. And I believe if you have a work permit, you can have a real ID as well. Okay, let's move on. The state of Rhode Island is going to be in effect on July 1st, 2023, this year. And the law allows any person who is unable to establish legal presence in the U.S. but meet requirements such as presenting proof of identification and also insurance requirement. You have to show insurance card as well. You have to insure the car. Like here in New York as well, to register a vehicle to motor vehicle, you have to insure the vehicle first. You have to purchase insurance liability first in order to be able to register a car in New York State. But right now we're talking about Rhode Island. So They require insurance before you register a vehicle, and also a requirement to receive driver license or permit division to the DMV. So Rhode Island is going to be in effect in July 1st, 2023. And now the state of Utah, they've been offering driver license to undocumented immigrants since 2005. Wow, that's a long time. And let's move on. The list is long, so I'm just going to skip some details. And the state of Vermont, they've been offering driver license since 2014. Virginia, they've been offering driver license to undocumented immigrants since January 1st, 2021. And then when you go to Washington State, they've been offering driver license to undocumented immigrants since July 25th to 1993. So they've been offering driver license to anyone who doesn't have a legal status in the U.S. And the District of Columbia has been in effect since 2014. All right, guys, so these are the states where you can go and obtain a driver license, feel like you're not singled out. You can drive around, you can transport your family from one place to another, take your children to school, or go do your shopping, grocery shopping, or anything else, in those states you can get your driver license and you can have a comfortable life. All right. And now let's talk about the states that are offering health insurance. Okay, there are multiple states that are offering health insurance for undocumented children under 18. For example, they can get health care through the state, such as the Medicaid. But after a certain age, you're no longer eligible. And also some senior citizens in those states beyond Illinois, California, Maine, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Vermont, and Washington states. They have expanded Medicaid to undocumented children. Some of those states also provide benefits for adults, either through Medicaid or state health insurance exchange. Those states that I mentioned, they offer health insurance for undocumented children. And also they have some sort of a program for undocumented adults. So if you go to those states, you're going to live well. The main goal is that have a health insurance and a driver license. So those are necessary things to have when you live in the U.S. So in other words, in California, what I've heard lastly, they had health insurance for people over 60 years old. Even though if you don't have a legal status, you can be eligible for health insurance. And they offer health insurance for children. Many states, they offer health insurance for undocumented children. I think that's a great thing because, hospitals are so expensive and you go to the doctor, it is very expensive. So if you see any state, you have a family and you see any state that offer health insurance for your children, go right ahead. So these are one of the states that offer driver license as well. So New York is one of them, and also California, and those states that I mentioned here, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington State. Okay, now let's check out the states that are offering free in-state tuition, regardless your status in the USA. So we're going to go check it out. So guys, I have a list of states that offer in-state tuition for undocumented students. So you graduate from high school, US high school, and then you want to go to college, and sometimes some state they charge out-of-state tuition, which is a lot of money. And here are the list of states that are offering in-state tuition. In-state tuition means that you're going to pay the same amount of tuition as citizens and legal residents. Okay, so those states are Arizona, California. California is the best for undocumented immigrant. When you go there, you get health insurance, you get driver license, and you get in-state tuition if you are a student. Nice, good state for undocumented immigrants, undocumented children as well. And as I mentioned, they offer health insurance for immigrants that are 60 years and older. They get free health insurance. If you are an adult, you get some sort of insurance that can help you pay a little bit, you know, like nothing crazy. All right. So now we're talking about the tuition. So those states that are offering in-state tuition for undocumented students are, so the Arizona is number one, California, best state that offer everything for undocumented immigrant. Colorado, Connecticut, Hawaii, Illinois, Kansas, Kentucky, Maryland, Minnesota, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey is a great state for undocumented immigrants. New York, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Oregon, Rhode Island, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Washington State. So those are the states that are offering in-state tuition. And those states, they offer driver license as well and some sort of health insurance. But sometimes they require that the students must complete high school in the US, like in the state high school. Once you graduate and then you want to go to college and you don't have enough money, they can have you pay in-state tuition. And in those states, you can also apply for scholarship, you know, like if you have a great GPA, which is the grand point average, you can apply for some sort of a scholarship, you know, 500 here, 500 there, you know, you add it together, it's going to pay off your tuition, which is the in-state tuition, which is not much. I think in New York State, it is $3,100 per semester. So you can get a free scholarship. You can apply regardless your immigration status. You are eligible to apply depending on your GPA, grade point average. If you're a good student, you can earn one of those scholarships. Okay guys, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was very helpful and very informative. If it is, please give me thumbs up, give me tons of likes so this video can be suggested to a different audience. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and smash that notification bell so that you can get notified every time I upload a new video on YouTube. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys next time.